Yarkand. This region is home to the Uyghur Muslims and was previously one of the most volatile and perilous areas in southern Xinjiang. A terrorist attack a decade ago resulted in many casualties. I am going to visit this minority community, which has gained significant international attention. Well, before that, I have to tell you something. To get from Tashkurgan to Yarkand, I have to take a route that's so dangerous that it can't even be shown on navigation. This road has reportedly been around for over 1,000 years and winds through the mountains. On one side are towering stone peaks, while the other features steep cliffs. Below the cliffs, a clear blue river flows. It is called the Tashkurgan Ancient Road. You may have read Journey to the West or heard of Wukong. This road is the very one that Wukong's master, the real-life Tang Xuanzang, traveled over 1,000 years ago. Can you believe that a road stretching 333 kilometers typically takes 10 hours to drive? With an average speed of over 30 kilometers per hour, it's clear that this route is challenging. In winter in southern Xinjiang, the sun rises at AM and sets at PM. As I navigate through the valley with limited information, the road conditions ahead remain uncertain. There's a constant risk of car accidents, tire blowouts, falling rocks, landslides, and road closures. My biggest concern is whether I can make it out of the valley before dark, especially without any support. Not far from the entrance of this road, you will find the stunning Bandir Blue Lake, the bluest lake on the Pamir Plateau. When I was in my 30s and witnessed this scene, I felt as though I truly understood the essence of travel. This reservoir sits at an altitude of 3,000 meters. The high mineral concentration in the water gives it a deep, peaceful blue hue under the sun. Such breathtaking scenery makes me even more excited for the journey ahead. The Tashkurgan River runs alongside the first half of the Tashkurgan Ancient Road. In winter, most of the journey involves navigating through a barren valley, surrounded by towering, rugged mountains that resemble an iron wall. Along the way, you experience a profound silence, broken only by the sound of the wind outside the car window. Boulders frequently tumble down from the mountaintops, and although the road is narrow, the current conditions are relatively good. Wherever there is a river, there are people.
你要去哪边？我这车上拉的都是东西，坐不下人了，真不好意思啊。
In this valley, outsiders are rare, which helps preserve the unique traditional ethnic atmosphere of Tajik people. Since few tourists travel this ancient road, the presence of trees along the roadside indicates that a village is nearby. These Tajik villages are scattered along both sides of the river, thriving thanks to the turbulent water that flows through these steep mountains. The houses, built into the mountains, blend seamlessly with the surrounding barren landscape and boulders. For generations, the villagers have led quiet, simple lives here. Every spring, when the apricot blossoms bloom, the scenery turns into something completely different. Passing through scattered villages, the ancient road gradually transformed. As the Tashkurgan River merged with the Yarkand River, the scenery shifted from lush pastoral landscapes to a barren, desolate expanse. Life vanished from both sides of the river, and towering cliffs made progress increasingly difficult. The road carved from the mountains became tortuous and narrow, strewn with sand and gravel, barely wide enough for a single car. To the left loomed a massive stone mountain with precarious rocks overhead, while to the right, beneath a steep cliff, flowed the turbulent Yarkand River. As the road climbed higher along the cliff wall, the river valley deepened. Cracks in the stones above crisscrossed ominously, threatening to collapse at any moment. The once solid metal guardrail had become uneven and dislocated, with sections hanging perilously over the cliff's edge. The cracked road surface, falling rocks, smashed guardrails, and collapsed electric poles created a chaotic scene that constantly tested the driver's resolve. A large boulder lay in the middle of the road, fortunately not completely blocking it. The narrow gap left was just wide enough for a car. But my greater concern was the sharp gravel that could puncture tires. In the next few dozen kilometers, damaged roadbeds and guardrails were everywhere. Unpaved sandy paths, broken sections, landslide areas, and water-damaged stretches alternated, creating a rugged and undulating surface. At this point, I realized that crossing this road, if I were lucky, could become an unforgettable experience. Otherwise, I would be the one to remember. Many roads here were carved through the mountains, leaving only a narrow rocky path with various bends and elevations. The vibrant green disappeared, replaced by a landscape of gobi and yellow sand. The rocks felt cold and hard, the water was so deep it seemed bottomless. This place is both a paradise on earth and a deserted wasteland. In this deep canyon, where even birds cannot fly, time seems to stand still. I can't fathom how people survived here many years ago, nor can I imagine the hardships and loneliness Tang Xuanzang faced as he climbed mountains and crossed rivers thousands of years ago. After leaving the Yarkand River Valley and heading north into the mountains, I entered the last part of the Tashkurgan ancient road.
Narrow is the road to glory. Perdition's gates are broad and wide. On the steps you take to ponder, from the path to life or on the narrow road to glory's worth the price. For the narrow road to glory's worth the price.
As I finally emerged from the immense steep mountains and valleys, the open Yarkand River beach came into view. The river gracefully winding its way eastward. The dull stone mountains gradually brightened, and the appearance of the Yardang landform signaled that I was not far from Yarkand County. Upon arriving in Yarkand, I realized it was quite different from what I had imagined.
莎车县城很大啊。 这县城挺大的呢。
这是整个新疆这是最大的县城，这个。
最大的县城啊！哎呀，
最大沙城呀。人口也多呀。
人口也多。
100多万。
100多万的县城。
一个县生产线嘛。
我的妈！
After a brief introduction by the taxi driver, I learned some things about Yarkand. It has a history of more than 3,000 years. Named after the Yarkand Khanate, was one of the 36 states of the western regions. This charming town has witnessed the rise and fall of the ancient states, the ebb and flow of cultures, and the passage of time itself. As the most populous county in Xinjiang, Yarkand County is known for its cuisine, music, and hot tea. You could easily feed yourself for the day with just $10.
对，没吃过。
尝一尝。
我要尝一尝。老板，这一小份多少钱？2个。那个我来2块钱的。跟吃那个板栗的口感都一样了。
2 yuans for the chickpeas and shredded carrot is the traditional flavor of Yarkand. Gorbag Road is the most bustling place in the old town, which is more genuine and rustic than Kashgar. Ancient walls, great structures, crowded street with the smell of food, shouting that never stops coming from loudspeakers, and 100 conflicting voices. Every corner exudes a sense of Central Asian beauty. The exuberant smiles on the faces of all the residents gave me a lasting first impression of this Uyghur community.
老板，来个烤肉，这你看馕坑里烤出来的，这一大串才5块钱，吃不过来啊！这一下子，这多少钱一块？这个？2块。真甜呐！烤包子是吧？多少钱一个？2个。我来一个。都很洋葱的，有本地产的巴旦木嘛。
Xinjiang is the furthest city on earth from the sea, known for its fruits and nuts. Nestled between 3 major mountains and 2 basins, it provides exceptional natural conditions for the growth of nuts. Almonds are produced in large quantities in the verdant Yarkand County, which has earned the moniker almond capital of China. However, some local delicacies still make me unable to stand.
这是啥呀？这个是什么？酸奶疙瘩。那个我能少买点尝尝吗？没吃过这个。
咋不样？
来点尝尝。
牛奶的。
牛奶的。
吃香。
直接吃啊？那我来块小的。
行。
哦，有点酸啊。酸的。
好的。这个样子嘛，眼睛嘛。
啊，对眼睛好。
眼睛好的，眼睛看要好好的看。
哦。酸奶啊？这一碗多少钱呀
5块钱。
5块钱才？那我来一大碗吧。5块钱。真热闹这。
Everything here is bustling, yet orderly. On the busy street, there is an old tea house known only to the locals.
咋沟通的这个？
The walls of the tea house are blackened from years of smoke, and the original appearance can no longer be seen. An old television playing Uyghur dubbed shows is the only
这
entertainment
不是
in the
电视
shop.
啊，那是 VCD，我都好多年没见了。哎，够沉的。这有点像bagel。这样站着吃。我跟人对面大哥学的。有点像bagel啊，就是那个贝果。
You can spend 1 yuan to buy a pot of tea, another yuan to buy a piece of naan, and then chill in the tea house for an entire afternoon. Firewood burns in the stove. Beside it are stacked porcelain teapots and enamel cups with various patterns. The glaze reflects the red glow of the fire. In that room, only the silent owner brewing tea, and the elderly quietly drinking tea. Time seems to have stopped here. After a brief stroll, I learned more about this place. Behind the peaceful and harmonious Uyghur community lies a profound historical and cultural heritage. Everything here starts with a river. Xinjiang is a dry inland area far from the ocean. Gobi deserts occupy most of the land. The depths of the desert are like a natural barrier, isolating the outside world. However, the edge of the desert is a different scene. The Karakoram Mountains stand tall, with many glaciers. The long glaciers bring rushing ice and snow melt water to the dry land at the foot of the mountain. Where there are rivers, there will be oases. Where there are oases, there will be survival and habitation. When glacial meltwater flows from west to east, it forms the Yarkand River. In the areas it passes through, withered grass turns green and wildflowers bloom. Humans began to settle here 3,000 years ago. The alluvial plain formed by the river also became the fertile land of the ancient Yarkand Khanate. Therefore, the Yarkand River is regarded as the mother river of southern Xinjiang. The name Yarkand, just like the vast fields nurtured by its alluvial fan, means a place of wide land. Here lies the earliest memory of civilization in the western regions. Since then, the people of Yarkand have thrived here for generations. Even with the changes of dynasties, they have never left their homeland. The yellow carved buildings, the green mosaic tiles, the sky blue dome, the Islamic architectural style exterior, the intricately patterned wall decorations, and the beautiful Yarkand Khan Palace made me have endless reverie about that ancient states. Across the street from the palace is the Yarkand Khanate Mausoleum, where the kings and royal family members of the Yarkand Khanate are buried, along with the legendary Queen Amanisa Khan, the organizer of the 12 Muqam of Uyghur classical music, which is also the most important musical achievement of Xinjiang. Romantic melodies capture the life ideals of the Uyghur people, reflecting their joys and sorrows. The whole set of the 12 Muqam consists of 360 different melodies and takes over 20 hours to play in full. It has played an inseparable role in the people's lives. They dance to the accompaniment of 12 Muqam and sing songs and ballads to its melodies. For thousands of years, those melodies rich in ethnic minority characteristics have been passed down as part of Uyghur culture here. Therefore, Yarkand County is also known as the hometown of the 12 Muqam. After sharing the story of Yarkand, the local security guard told me how to experience the real daily life of the Uyghurs. People in Xinjiang love raising pigeons, especially in southern Xinjiang. A fun fact is that pigeons here are not only kept for viewing, more often they are intended for eating. One of the most distinctive foods in Yarkand County is pigeon, to the extent that the roasted pigeons here are very famous throughout Xinjiang. No pigeon can stay alive over 28 days here, and none can fly out of the town. You can find pigeon meat noodles, roasted pigeons, and pigeon soup everywhere. With crispy skin, tender and juicy meat, and affordable prices, this is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the culinary delights of Yarkand County. Whether in deep winter or midsummer, the nights in Xinjiang always belong to the night market. Every day, as night falls and the lights come on, Yarkand County welcomes its most lively moments. The local Uyghurs can enjoy and relax themselves in various and most affordable ways here. The night market has the pure and traditional flavor of Xinjiang, and it is also a good opportunity to learn more about the life of the Uyghur people. Some night markets still require a quick security check, likely a remnant of past terrorist incidents.
这个是什么？
花盖儿。
滑盖儿。哦，嗓子。我能不能来一小块儿？可以啊。
可以。
行，我尝一尝，没吃过。行，我来一块儿。那就，好，来一点点。啊。
10元。
有醋和辣椒这里边。是馕。
No sheep can walk out of Xinjiang alive. Here, no part of a sheep goes to waste. Compared to the throat, the sheep intestine and lung here have a more mysterious allure, and they are delicacies that are hard to find elsewhere.
看着挺好吃啊，老板，这是什么呀？这是啊？箱子。
它是要脆的，
羊肉的，肠子，肠子。这里边是不是加了东西了？里边
加的米啊，那个很多的那种。有米，有那个肉，还有很多东西。
这一份里什么都有了是吧？
啊，有，就是这个是一个小份5块钱。
姐，5块钱小份，尝尝，没吃过。
Use the washed sheep lungs and tripe stuffed together, filled with rice, seasonings, and flour mixture, then steamed to make pake. The hesapes is made by finely chopping sheep liver, heart, and intestines, mixing them with seasonings and rice, then stuffing the mixture into sheep intestines to cook. Typically, the entire process from cleaning, kneading the dough, and filling to cooking takes at least 5 hours.
新疆的东西吃放心。而且新疆的东西5块钱一份都特别大。老板，吃完了，好吃，谢谢。
Even at night, the streets are still brightly lit. When you are confused by the food you have never seen, the enthusiastic Uyghur people will always introduce it to you, proactively.
来个吃，这烤木瓜，好吃吗？我来一个吃。木瓜了，烤木瓜，那叫文博，文博，烤文博。
只有南疆有，北疆都没有。
北疆都没有啊！哎呀，我说这辈子第一次吃这个，挺好，挺好，挺好，挺好。那是啥呀？还有烤鸡蛋呢？
蜂蜜吗？
啊？
蜂蜜
啊？蜂蜜啊？哦，这个尝尝。这么热闹，刹车。这是什么呀？这是
羊腔子，羊腔子。
羊腔子。
嗯。
羊腔子是什么地方啊？
羊的腔子。
哦，羊肠子。哦。
The Uyghurs, as an ethnic minority, have their own traditional language, which sometimes makes communication not very smooth.
啊，这多少钱一串？这个
1块钱一个。
哦，给我来2串，我尝尝。
2块吗？
啊，2串。
啊。2
块，1块钱一串。吃过。哎呀，人间美味啊！没吃过。羊肝2个鸡肉，我就那样吃。你再给我拿那个馕，再给我加个肉，行吗？这加的是什么呀？羊肠。
羊肠。
太好吃了。特别像小时候在路边吃羊肉串，真没治了。
Shy glances, simple smiles, passionate and sincere emotions, low prices, and a harmonious and comfortable life. It's hard to imagine that this is where a terrorist attack once took place.
4个羊肠子，2个鸡肉，1个羊肝子，1个饼，5个肉串。
14。14。
才14块钱。没开玩笑吧？
真的。
这么便宜
14，对对。
才14块钱。我不是大哥，我以为得50多。
不是你没吃那么多呀。
14块钱，你们能相信吗？我操！我明天还来，我太香了这个。
At night, Yarkand County is vibrant and colorful, preserving the authentic charm of the western regions and the local people's traditional way of life. On the streets, Uyghur uncles occasionally call out to me with their not-so-fluent Mandarin phrases. As I walk down the street, I encounter an array of unfamiliar foods, paik, esip, yogurt dumplings, etc. This may be a feast for the taste buds and culture.
你只看看这一望无际的夜市，我尼玛，这地方真好。
Here, life is full of surprises and new experiences. Even strangers I've never met may invite me to have a meal.
明天我跟你说个话，你有这一个这个口味选啥都行。
来，真好啊，这边。
I believe the charm of Yarkand lies not only in its cuisine but also in the culture and emotions it embodies. The second day after arriving in Yarkand, there is one thing that must be done. As the Chinese saying goes, Backer has mountain, draft relying on water. It means to make use of local resources, which is what the ancient Yarkand people did. I came to Tuitan village in Yegayerki town. It belongs to Yarkand County.
前面这涂抹颜那啥呀？那是。哇，这是真是炭烤的鱼啊！以前没见过这个。
After eating the sheep grown in the Yarkand oasis, now it is time to taste the fish from the Yarkand River.
这多少钱一条呀，大哥？
大小不一样，大的80块、90块、70块、60块。
60的、70的、80的、90的啊。这个多少钱？这个
60块。
60块，哇，那么便宜。这是什么鱼啊？
草鱼。
草鱼哦。这馕也是配的。 送的，哇塞！
The water of the Yarkand River nourishes the people who have lived on this land for generations, and also shapes their lives of hunting, farming, grazing, and fishing. Their unique fish roasting technique has continued to this day.
这家伙这不香迷糊了。
Clean the grass carp from the Yarkand River. Cut it open from the belly. Pierce the fish skin with a wooden stick. Pierce the fish body vertically along the spine with a red willow branch. Then put the fish in a circle on a special round grill. When the red willow charcoal in the center of the grill slowly burns, the fish skin gradually begins to turn golden. Under the light of the flame, the fish begins to become transparent and orange red. Then the smell of grilled fish wafted through the air.
吃啊，开始！我的妈，这香迷糊了，这个，我去，太好吃了。这一大条才60块钱。我来这儿就属于有点语言不通，但是语言不通啊，不妨碍我感受到，就是这儿的人啊，就这儿的人倍儿实在，倍儿厚道，倍儿友好，就是冲你微笑，可暖了。啊，倍儿新鲜，倍儿便宜，这边的人倍儿实在，倍儿厚道，就是这给我最深的感受。